Hello, and welcome to AIM International's preparatory tutorials for the Information Certification exam. I'm Steve Weissman, Principal Consultant at Holly Group and a certified AIM training instructor in the realm of content process and information management. I'll be your guide as we review the exam's major domains of expertise, and I'll tell you all you need to know to earn that passing grade. Today's subject is email management, a key part of this special certification, which AIM created to support you as you solve your organization's existing information-related problems and plan for its future. For 60 years, AIM has been the leading nonprofit association helping users understand how to best manage documents, content, records, and business processes. Of all the information types there are, emails are almost certainly the most prolific. We send and receive them from the time we walk into the office in the morning until the time we leave it at night, and frequently beforehand and afterwards as well. So they do tend to accumulate, and it doesn't take very long before the really important ones get lost in the noise of all the others. This module is one of two to speak to which messages to manage and when. Part of the Capture and Manage knowledge domain, one of 6 within the certification program, it will talk about email types to manage more formally, when to implement email archiving, and why to store messages as content or records. One major task is figuring out which messages are important and which are not. Emails associated with a contract negotiation or an invoice or serving as a receipt for a transaction clearly have standing as business records and should be managed under your records retention guidelines. Remember, email is not a record series, but an email's content should be treated as such and classified appropriately. But what about personal messages, drafts, meeting requests, and announcements about the corporate picnic? In most cases, these do not represent critical information that should be retained permanently or even beyond the date of the event. You may want to hold on to them temporarily, but there is likely no business value to this content. And how far back do you go? Do you include emails that have been moved to offline storage or put out into the archives? How about those that have been marked as having been deleted but still exist on a server or backup drive somewhere? The answers to these questions are very organization-specific, but the questions have to be asked and the answers acted upon. Regulatory guidelines provided by the government or industry sometimes dictate how email content should be managed and retained, and the process of looking these up can be enlightening even if some of those regulations aren't directly applicable. Working from the other direction, you may notice certain operational characteristics that suggest email management and archiving is just what the doctor ordered. Broadly speaking, there are 3 primary telltales. Performance is the first one, as in when an email system slows down because of the large number of messages it's being asked to store and search. Lightening the load by taking the older and less important ones off can only help. Now that move strikes squarely at your bottom line because money that would have gone to additional servers and storage can be spent on other things instead. Then there is efficiency, as when users spend measurable time dragging messages into personal or shared folders to unclutter their inboxes. Having that many is a sign that not enough active management is taking place. The problem here is pretty serious, as unmanaged dragging and dropping invites questions regarding the integrity and security of the information in the affected emails. Plus, you don't want to pay people to spend time doing that instead of their actual work. And the all-important one, compliance, such as when requests come in for regulatory audits or e-discovery support, at which point it may just be too late. Archiving supports data permanence, the notion that data must be retained in its original state without being altered or deleted, and data security, safeguarding it from unauthorized access or physical damage. These are both central to the concept of compliance, and in many cases are the drivers of email management and archiving in the first place. Before getting to the point of archiving, though, emails continue to pour in, and something really ought to be done about them, especially those that relate to work in progress that others might like to see, plus their attachments, whether or not they were copied on the CC line in the message. Here, utilizing the capabilities of a content or records repository is what's called for. From this standpoint, emails represent just another type of content to be shared, leveraged, subjected to retention policy, or audited, and the technology for doing these sorts of things is well established and available from a large number of venerable vendors. This module is one of two to speak to which messages to manage and when. In it, we discussed email types to manage more formally, when to implement email archiving, and why to store emails as content or records. If you haven't already, you may next wish to review the module that covers automatic filters, automatic routing and filing, the need to keep email management initiatives relatively quiet, and user training and monitoring. And if you have, you may prefer to view the section on content management. The material you have just reviewed is part of a broader program of study that prepares you to take the Information Certification exam. This proctored test consists of 100 multiple-choice questions and is delivered electronically by Prometric. You'll have 2 hours to complete it, and upon passing, you'll earn a professional certification that's valid for 3 years. For more information, please visit www.aim.org/certification. Thank you.